Welcome to Notebook Nuggets.
Hi, everyone.
Today, we're really diving deep into the core of successful time management.
Yeah, drawing a lot from Kevin Kruse's work. Some really insightful stuff there.
Exactly. Forget feeling scattered. We're extracting the fundamental strategies.
Or things that actually work.
To empower you to truly command your most finite resource, time. Our aim is simple. Actionable understanding. Sharpen your focus. Elevate productivity on what truly counts.
Okay, so let's unpack a foundational idea, something that really runs through Kruse's work. It's about the complete ownership of your time.
Right. Sounds obvious, maybe.
Yeah, it might seem self-evident, but the real power comes from actively recognizing every moment as a deliberate choice. It's like Ali Abdaal touched on this.
Oh, yeah.
Suggesting we reframe "I don't have time" to something like, "It's not a priority right now."
Ooh, that's a tough one, but powerful.
It is. It's a subtle shift in language, but it forces you to really assess things. Is this really where my focus should be? That internal dialogue is key to feeling that ownership.
Absolutely. And building on that ownership is, well, really appreciating the value of time.
Definitely.
Kruse underscores this powerfully. He talks about the 1,440 minutes in each day.
Right, 1440.
A finite, non-renewable resource. He apparently even taped a reminder to his door.
Yeah, just to keep it front and center. And thinking in minutes, those small chunks.
It really highlights the potential, doesn't it? Like even tiny pockets of time. Enough for, 30 sit-ups.
Or reading a short poem, watering a plant, small things.
It makes you think twice about just letting those minutes, evaporate.
Exactly. And that awareness, that value, it directly feeds into how you prioritize.
Which brings us to the MIT, right? The most important task.
Yes, central to Kruse's framework. That one task that will have the biggest positive impact on your day, your work, whatever.
And doing that consistently.
Leads to higher productivity, sure, but also just feeling, happier, more accomplished.
Kruse gives examples, like a senior leader making a key hire or an entrepreneur nailing an investor pitch.
Right, high leverage activities. And research backed this up. The ability to prioritize clearly links to better overall productivity. It's not just a feeling.
Okay, so your MIT, you value your minutes, but how do you actually execute? Kruse points out a potential issue with the classic to-do list.
Yes, the endless list.
He mentions research suggesting, 41% of items never even get done.
Yeah, something like that. And ironically, the list itself can actually increase stress instead of reducing it.
So what's the alternative he pushes for?
Ditching the list, basically, and moving to a calendar. Scheduling the tasks.
Time blocking, time boxing.
Exactly, those concepts. They're pretty similar for our purposes today, basically. You assign specific time slots for specific tasks. It turns vague intentions into actual commitments in your schedule.
Makes sense. It forces you to be realistic about what fits.
Totally. He gives the example of Shannon Miller, the Olympic gymnast.
Right.
Juggling an insane number of commitments. How meticulous calendar management.
And what happens when things go off track?
Yeah.
Because they always do.
Her key insight, and Kruse highlights this, was reschedule, don't just abandon it, keep that proactive stance, don't let it just drift away onto some future mythical someday list.
Right. But okay, even with a schedule, there's still the big P, procrastination.
Oh, it's universal, isn't it? A constant battle.
How do we fight it?
Well, Kruse talks about visualization, imagining the future, the satisfaction of getting it done versus, the pain or stress of not doing it.
Sort of motivating yourself with the end result.
Yeah, and also just being honest about your tendencies. If you know you'll snack unhealthily while working late, maybe remove the temptation beforehand. Proactive steps.
That connects a bit to what Ali Abdaal says about being selective, that hell yeah or no idea. Saying yes to too much can lead to overwhelm, which then triggers procrastination.
That's a great point. Overwhelm is definitely a trigger. And Kruse reminds us, look, there will always be more to do. You can't do everything.
Like the President Bush example, prioritizing reading 95 books during his presidency.
Exactly. Amidst unimaginable pressure, he consciously chose to invest time in something valuable to him, even with endless competing demands. It's about focus on what matters.
Okay, another critical piece Kruse talks about is capturing ideas, not letting them slip away.
Yeah, and he emphasizes tangible methods, like Sir Richard Branson in his notebook.
Always having it with him.
Just writing things down. It's not just about saving the idea, though. The physical act of writing, a study suggests it actually helps embed it in your memory better than typing.
Interesting. Engages different parts of the brain, maybe?
Something like that. It seems to aid retention and makes you more likely to act on it later.
Okay, so capturing inputs is one thing. What about managing the constant flood of inputs, like email?
Oh, email. A huge one. Kruse is pretty direct about this. Constant checking. It's unproductive.
He compares it to a slot machine.
Yeah. That unpredictable reward ding. New message. keeps us hooked, but it just shatters our focus, fragments attention like crazy.
So what can we do? Just willpower.
Well, willpower helps, but he suggests practical strategies too, like unsubscribe ruthlessly from stuff you don't need.
Declutter the inbox proactively.
Exactly. And structured approaches, like the 3-2-1-0 system he mentions.
3 checks a day.
Aiming for inbox 0.
In about 21 minutes.
Right. Short, focused bursts. It's about creating protected time for deep work away from the constant pings.
Speaking of time sinks, meetings, they often get a bad rap.
And often for good reason. Kruse echoes that. Many are inefficient, maybe dominated by the loudest voices.
Or get bogged down in tiny details.
Totally. But when you do need to collaborate, he suggests things like stand-up meetings. Research apparently shows they help with engagement and efficiency.
Keep people focused, maybe because they don't want to stand too long.
Possibly. And he mentions Marissa Mayer at Yahoo scheduling meetings in really short blocks, like 5 or 10 minutes, forces efficiency.
Wow. That's tight.
And this loops back to saying no, doesn't it?
Every yes is a no somewhere else.
Exactly. Saying yes to a maybe pointless meeting means saying no to focused work or family time or whatever else is important. Think about the Olympic rower, Sarah Hendershot.
Prioritizing training above almost everything else.
Right. Saying no to most things to say yes to her goal. And studies even suggest people who say no more often tend to be happier, have more energy, less resentment maybe.
Makes sense. Okay, this idea of focusing effort, that leads us to the Pareto principle, doesn't it? The 80-20 rule.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's such a useful lens for time management. The core idea, roughly 80% of your results often come from just 20% of your actions.
So the trick is identifying that vital 20%.
Exactly. In your work, in your personal life, Kruse urges us to actively look for it. Analyze your week. What activities really move the needle?
And then what? Just do those.
We'll focus disproportionately on them, but also critically assess all tasks. Ask those questions. Is this truly important? Could someone else do it? Can I do it faster or smarter?
Streamline or eliminate.
Right. Kruse mentions research suggesting this kind of critical look can free up significant time, maybe even 8 hours a week for some workers. It's about working with real intention.
Another technique Kruse brings up for focus is theming days.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. It provides structure, allows for deeper work on specific types of tasks.
Like Jack Dorsey theming his days for his 2 companies.
Right. Or Dan Sullivan, the coach, who themes whole weeks, focus days, buffer days, free days.
What's the benefit? Less context switching.
That seems to be the main thing. You minimize that mental gear shift when you batch similar tasks together. More flow, more efficiency.
And on a smaller scale, that 5-minute rule.
Oh yeah, the touch it once idea.
Yeah.
If something takes less than 5 minutes, just do it immediately. Don't let those tiny things pile up into a big time-sucking mess later.
Simple, but probably saves a lot of cumulative time and mental energy.
Definitely. Okay, so we've covered a lot of strategies, but there's a foundational piece Kruse really emphasizes: managing your personal energy.
Ah, yes. It's not just about time, it's about energy and focus.
Exactly. And a huge part of that, according to Kruse, is having consistent routines, especially a powerful morning routine.
Setting the tone for the day.
Precisely. Dedicating that first hour, maybe, to things that nourish you: mind, body, spirit, exercise, meditation, reading, journaling.
He gives examples, right? Dan Miller starting with meditation and a workout, avoiding the news and his phone first thing.
Yeah, protecting that initial focus. And Sean Stevenson just emphasizing simple hydration right away. Basic, but crucial for energy.
So productivity isn't just cramming more tasks in, it's managing focus, managing energy.
That's the core insight. Techniques like Pomodoro.
25 minutes on, short break.
Right. They're tools to help manage that focus and energy, prevent burnout during work blocks. He mentions author Monica Leonel using it to dramatically boost her writing output.
Shows it can really work. And he has that acronym, Lifesavers.
Yeah, a framework for a comprehensive morning routine. Silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing, which is basically journaling.
Lots of components there, but you could pick and choose, I guess.
For sure. The principle is establishing that positive, proactive start.
So wrapping this up, it feels like the big message from Kruse and these experts isn't about finding magic extra hours.
No, not at all. It's about making deliberate, conscious choices about how you use the hours you do have, that finite, precious resource.
Right. Valuing your time, prioritizing ruthlessly, like finding that MIT and then using strategies like time blocking, maybe theming, and definitely that mindful morning routine.
It's about shifting from feeling constantly behind, time-starved,
to feeling more in control, more time-rich, really. Focusing on what matters.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Thinking about all this, what's maybe one small actionable change inspired by these ideas from Kruse that you could realistically implement starting today? Just one thing to take greater command of your time.
Great question to ponder. And if you found these no big nuggets valuable and insightful today, please help us share these ideas.
Yeah, give it a like, maybe leave a comment, share your biggest time challenge or the takeaway that resonated most.
And share this deep dive with a friend or colleague who might benefit. And of course, for more concise, actionable knowledge like this.
Be sure to subscribe.
Absolutely. Your journey toward mastering your time starts right now.